Hello, my mimics, and welcome back to the Mimic Commentary, episode number 64? Episode 64. Last episode I said we were going to bully Corin, but instead I think we're going to talk to Muriel.
Greetings. Do you need anything?
So we got the Fire Monk's prayer book done before I give it to him. What we're going to do this episode is we're going to kind of talk more about the prophecy. I think I've said that the next video was going to be the prophecy video, and it was going to just be an outline video. And I was writing the outline, and everything was coming together very smoothly. Then I filmed this Mimic Commentary episode, or last episode, and then I start thinking about what are we going to talk about this episode. And I released a video as a recording about a week ago. And that one, I did we talked about a lot of stuff. That was just supposed to be my Night of Black Knives. You don't got the timeline right. Well, I made mention about two items that are both black iron. And that's how we can tell, based on those armor and where they're found and where they're located, where these people come from and what their allegiances are. I forgot that there's actually 4 sets of armor that are made from black iron. And one of them was the Fire Monks. And because of that, unfortunately, I didn't get the gloves. And I don't want to keep farming for them. I got everything but the gloves. I even got their mace, which has this funky R2. So I was thinking, okay, they'll have that black iron. What could that mean? And when I had the Fire Monks early in my outline. So just a heads up, how I do outline videos, like the Bale video and Mickle is Not Griffith video. Hey, is the moon darker than normal? Looks darker than normal. Doesn't look as bright as it usually does. When I do outline videos, how I do them, as opposed to scripts, is I write the title of the chapter, which is essentially what my goal is to talk about, and then I put items, their images, and their descriptions in the order that I want to tell the story. So I look at the item description, and then I read it either on screen or off screen, and then I use that to build the narrative that I want to go for. And in my outline, I put the Fire Monks really early because I was just trying to get the point across that prophecy exists in this game. Catch flame, flame sling, etc. And then I got to the part where I talk about outside Mimic Commentary. We're not using this for our prophetic knowledge. I talked about the furnace visage, that item. And then I started talking about the beast hunt, the divine beast hunt. And then I was like, wait a minute. The Fire Monks shouldn't be this early in the video, in the outline. They should be later. They should be around the other people who wear black iron. And then that made me think about, if we're going to talk about prophecy and how that influences people, well, we have to talk about how Marika is influenced by prophecy. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with this episode of the Mimic Commentary, kind of work through those ideas with Mimic Commentary rules, because I think that helps build a better theorizing for me. Also, the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster came out a few days ago, and I only got to play the tutorial, and I really want to play that. So and I have as of recording, I'm going to a wedding this weekend, so I won't have time to play that much Elder Scrolls or Elden Ring. So we got to just do a little quick one. Okay.
Is there something?
Oh, duh, I forgot. Let's start with our prayer book. Prayer book of the Fire Monks who came from the mountains tops of the giants far to the north. Okay. Actually, what's interesting about the book, before we give it away, we didn't really inspect the book. Their sigil has 3 rings. The middle ring is made of fire. Then around that, we get what looks like spiraled eyes, kind of like in a circle. Actually, the fire in the middle, you see fire at the top of the book, fire at the bottom of the book. The page is actually burning. And then you kind of see what looks like little flame rings in the second circle, and that looks very similar to the kind of flame rings at the bottom of the dress of the fire monks. That's cool. It looks like the bookmark is red hair. The fire monks that we all fight have red hair. Radigan has red hair. Leonine Misbegones have red hair. So we're thinking mountaintops. Did Mountaintops of the Giants, did Radigan with his red hair come from the Mountaintops of the Giants? Maybe. And yeah, so I was gonna bully Corn, but you know we already know he's gonna be like, this is not part of the. This bears no lineage to the Erd Tree. We know he's gonna say that.
Oh, what have we here? Very well, let us both learn together. Heresy is not native to the world. It is but a contrivance. All things can be conjoined.
Which is interesting because we learn about... Roger tells us that the spells of the Carians were outside of the Golden Order, yet somehow the Golden Order was malleable and it was able to take in these things. So we're going to get O'Flammy, and Surge O'Flammy. All right, see you later, buddy. Let's put our fire spells on our toolbar, and we're going to try and build a little theorizing. Can I fit all these? So first we're going to put Black Flame, Flame Sling. Oh, maybe I should do... Oh, you know what? I don't have enough room. So first I just want to bring up Black Flame. Looks like a copy of Flame Sling. Okay. So let's do Catch Flame or Flammy. Flame of the Fell God. Yeah, we can only have 3. These... Oh. I can't cast that, can I? 41 Faith. Holy moly. And do these have the same... No, it doesn't have the same. Okay, well, so I'll just look at it in our inventory. Can't cast that. That gives the Fire Monk sigil. Catch Flame doesn't. Okay. So, let's just look at our spells. We got... This is a menu-heavy episode. We picked the Prophet. The Prophet is punished by the Two Fingers Faith for seeing their prophecy. Blindfold of exiled prophets whom foretold misfortune and were persecuted and driven from their homes as a result. So for foretelling misfortune, driven from your homes. Why hesitate? The path leading to the future is clear. Just close your eyes and walk. Okay. Our prophet has the Finger Seal, a sacred seal bestowed by a Finger Maiden, which serves as a catalyst for casting sacred incantations. Incantations must be memorized first at a site of grace, and a sacred seal must be equipped to cast them. We have part of our faith, Two-Finger Faithful, a talisman engraved with the legend of the two fingers. Fingers cannot speak, yet these were eloquent. Persistently did they wriggle, spelling out mysteries in the air. Thus did we gain the words of our faith. This, we think, is an underground religion, not really that associated, like connected to Marika, but not like part of like Erd Tree worship. Like Erd Tree worship, we're thinking is a little separate than Two-Finger worship, just based on the nature of the covert Two Fingers. We can't see where our prophecy leads us from here, but we know it's the Forge. So what is the prophecy? Where are we? So as we also recall, well, I guess we'll do Catch Flame first. Incantation originating from a sinister prophecy. The Flame of Ruin is the anathema. The Flame of Ruin is the anathema. I don't know, it's anathema or anthema. To the Erd Tree. But prophets sometimes glimpse it within the faith all the same. Sadly, when this occurs, the sole reward is banishment. Okay. If we remember our paintings, we did the prophecy painting, and that showed the Chapel of Anticipation. So we're thinking that the prophecy is that a Tarnished is going to arrive at the Chapel of Anticipation and use the Flame of Ruin to burn down the Erd Tree. Okay. So, what is the Flame of Ruin? What item has it? Surge O'Flammy. Superior incantation of the Fire Monks. Creates a stream of fire to burn the area before the caster. The Giant's Flame is the Flame of Ruin, capable of burning the Erd Tree. Okay. So, the Flame of Ruin is seen in the prophecies, and that Flame of Ruin is the Giant's Flame. in the mountaintops of the giants, capable of burning the Erd Tree. And so, following the war against the giants, its ruinous blaze was sealed, and guardians were appointed to watch over it. All right. So there's this prophecy that the flame of ruin, the giant's flame, will burn the Erd Tree. If we consider Marika she is synonymous with the Erd Tree. And the age of the Erd Tree begins, she's handing out blessings of the Erd Tree personally. We find sacred tears, and that's used to spread the faith. And for a time, those sacred tears are drops of sap that they thought would drip from the boughs forever. Okay, so we have our Erd Tree. It's dripping sap. Marika's handing out the sap, and she's spreading the faith in her and her Erd Tree. Her first Elden Lord is Godfrey. Godfrey eventually is banished, and she says, "You're going to come back one day. Go out, die, come back." We don't know why. We come back, and now we're one of the tarnished that comes back, and we start in this spot where there's this prophecy that could burn the Erd Tree. If Marika knows the prophecy that the Erd Tree is going to burn, is that why there is this war against the giants to seal the flame? She knows that the Erd Tree is going to burn, so she tries to prevent it? Is this why prophets are punished? Marika knows the Erd Tree will burn because she's seen the prophecy, and that's why there's a war against the giants. If we look at our war medallion, which we got from a troll who was like a slave in the mines, in ancient times, the giants were mortal enemies of the Erd Tree. Their bellowing roars desolated nature, triggered avalanches, and whipped up storms of flame. All right. So it's sealed, but the giant's flame still smolders upon... What is this? But we have O-Flame. O-Flame looks so similar to Catch Flame. This is our prophecy. This is O-Flame. It is the prophecy, but stronger. Okay. Incantation of the Fire Monks. The giant's flame still smolders upon the distant northern mountaintop, and the Fire Monks are its guardians. Okay. So, Marika sees this prophecy. Potentially. Perhaps Marika knows this prophecy. There's a war against the giants, and they seal this flame so it doesn't burn the Erd Tree. They appoint monks to guard the flame. Who are these monks? Well, we have our monk armor. Mail hood of iron links covering a headband, engraved with flames, attire of the Fire Monks. The Fire Monks are guardians of the flame of ruin, forbidden by the Erd Tree and said to be kept high in the mountaintops of the giants. So we have these monks who kind of look like this, guarding the flame of ruin. They wear these armor, absolutely awesome, made of black iron. Isn't that interesting? And on the front, it's a one-eyed face with these horns and fangs and a big nose. One-eyed monster. Looks like he has like either tears streaming down or maybe that's his hair. Really cool stuff. I want to get the black iron gauntlets. We have this cool flame mace. Okay. The black iron armor adorned with red cloth, attire of the Fire Monks. The grotesque face sculpted on the chest is said to depict the corrupt ancient god of flame. Corrupt ancient god of flame. Taboos transform into lasting obsessions by virtue of the fear that they inspire. So the taboo must be the flame, because it's forbidden by the Erd Tree. But now it's an obsession based on the virtue of the fear that they inspire, because the flame of ruin can burn down the Erd Tree, so we're fearful of it. Now we're obsessed with it. Grotesque-faced, corrupt ancient god. Well, if we think of gods, the only god that we also have mention of so far is the god that was Ra itself. A cloth doll depicting a dancer garbed in blue, an ancient heirloom of some sort. The dancer in blue represents a fairy, who in legend who in legend bestowed a flowing sword upon a blind swordsman. Blade in hand, the swordsman sealed away an ancient god, a god that was rot itself. If we think of rot, well, trees can rot. Trees can rot. The Erd tree was once perfect and eternal, and thus it was believed that Erd tree seeds could not exist. So if we recall, first, let's just think about this god of rot now. Why would the god of rot need to be sealed? Well, let's go to our mausoleum compound. I think this one we found a Mikola lily at. We have this Moses prophet-looking fellow. He's right there too. He's so big. He has 2 tablets, generally 2 tablets. One tablet at his feet, showing the map of the world, the Babylonian map of the world, the Amoga Mundi, and then this tablet, which kind of has a tree on it. He kind of looks like a Moses prophet figure, even has 2 tablets. Also in the underground is where we found the Claymen. The Claymen, harpoon tip shatter, wielded by the Claymen who infest the dynastic remains. So these Claymen are infesting the dynastic remains, and they served as priests, searching for lost oracles in their bubbles. So the oracles, they're telling the truth. They're telling the future. They're telling prophecy. And we have this prophet-looking fellow with a tree in hand, tree on his tablet. Even has like little roots coming down from him. All the way back in the ancient dynasty, we saw a lake that was all rot. We saw underground at the High Road Cave. That is where we got our Blue Dancer. So if we think perhaps this Blue Dancer, and there was also a lot of flowing water stuff involved with the Blue Dancer, Shamshir, Spinning Slash. We all remember. There's 2 great rivers that flow underground, the Schiefer and the Ainsel. So if we think that there's this prophecy dating back to the ancient dynasty, where we also found Marika Scarseal, there's this god that was rot itself, and it was sealed away, an ancient god. Well, this god is rot. It is rot, and it's sealed, because it can most likely, let's just assume, we have this prophecy that the Erd tree is going to burn. Well, we don't want the Erd tree to burn, but we also don't want it to rot and decay. We want it to be perfect and eternal. So let's think. Let's say Marika knows this prophecy. Let's say Marika was deep underground. Way back when. She's Marika the Eternal, after all. The god of rot is sealed, maybe on her behalf. Maybe she's related to this dancer in blue. We'll have to see if we can find anything about Marika involving dancing, flowing swords, anything about fairies and blindness. Blind swordsman also makes me think of prophecy, closing your eyes. In the ancient dynasty, we're sealing away rot itself. Well, what are we doing with the flame? What are we doing with the flame? My controls are messed up, so like the stick drags. Well, we're sealing the ruinous blaze. And why are we sealing the ruinous blaze? This flame of the fell god. This legendary incantation is one of the several that draws directly from the power of the fire giants. Release a ball of raging fire, said to be inhabited by a fell god. Oh, so the fire is inhabited by a fell god. Essentially, the fire is the god, this evil deity. Is it evil? Is that what they called it? Ancient god of flame. The ancient god of flame, the corrupt ancient god of flame, is actually inhabiting the fire. Much like this ancient god of rot was rot itself, this god of fire is the god itself. Arganthony, the chief guardian of the flame, had kept this incantation a well-kept secret until it was stolen by Adon. The fell god still lurks within the fire giants. So the fell god is fire, and the fire is inside of the fire giants. Now, does that mean the fire is sealed? In our prophecy, it's the forge. That's what we see. But is it that it's sealed in the fire giants? Where's a flame cleanse me? This incantation leaves the caster with subtle burns, a reminder that they must fear the flame. And why should you fear the flame? Because it's a god itself. I think that's very interesting. The other thing that we picked up, battle hammer made to resemble flickering flames, signature weapon of the fire monks who hail from the mountaintops of the giants. The unique strong attack rouses fiery combative spirit. Huh, huh, yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. If Marika is the Eternal, she's part of this eternal faction, living eternal lives. The finger readers the finger readers, here's one that might be interesting. As voices of the two fingers, finger readers are said to live lives eternal, and one is even supposed to have served as a wet nurse to royalty. So the finger readers, they live lives eternal. Marika is Marika, Queen Marika, the Eternal, and the Erd Tree is supposed to be eternal. But we also have the Mimic's Veil, which is also known as Marika's Mischief. We know the Erd Tree isn't eternal. We learn that from the seed. We also know that the Erd Tree is dying from Deathroot, which happened on the Night of the Black Knives, from scions from the Eternal City. So scions from the Eternal City know that the Erd Tree is not eternal. There's a prophecy that the Erd Tree is going to burn, and if the Erd Tree burns, then we know it's definitely not eternal. Rot could rot a tree, fire could burn out a tree. Is Marika trying to prevent or hide these prophecies because she doesn't want people to know that the Erd Tree is not eternal? If she's related to this blue dancer, the fairy garbed in blue, was she around when that god of rot was sealed? And was the god of rot sealed so when the tree came around, that this was prophesied by this Moses figure, so the tree could look eternal? And then was the fire, the war against the giants to seal the flame, was that to protect the tree so it could stay eternal? And what I'm trying to get at here is that, is eternity a lie? Oh, what do I hear? Oh, hey, I didn't know you were here. Let me hit you with my unupgraded mace. What do we get? Somber smithing stones. You know, somber smithing stones are interesting because of this. You know, so Marika's power, how she spreads the faith, is through the sap of the Erd Tree. But now it's all dried up. The Golden Age is over. Godwyn the Golden died in the Golden Age. And then, where do we have it? He becomes the first of the dead. He's buried in the depths of the Erd Tree's roots. It spreads through the Deathroot spreads through the Erd Tree with the stolen rune of death from the Elden Ring, stopping this production of sap. It's not long and eternal anymore. Is Marika's godhood, is it a lie? Is it false? And is the reason why she's trying to maybe prevent these prophecies, if she's the one who's initiating the war against the giants, if she's the one's punishing prophets, is it because she doesn't want people to know that she's a false god? Is that possible? Now, Radigan has red hair. And the fire monks, they got red hair. They come from the mountaintops of the giants. Is that like a regional thing? What does Radigan know before he comes to Liurnia? What does he learn after he becomes married to Renala? What does he find underground? Does he learn the prophecies? Does he learn the truth about the Erd Tree? Does he learn anything about Marika? Then he's recalled to the capital to become the second Elden Lord. Why? Did he learn too much at the academy? Did he learn too much when he sent explorers down the Ainsel River? When they saw that giant space monster? Maybe when they saw a giant woman on a throne with what looked like statues or maybe soul like dredged corpses? What did he learn? And what is Marika trying to hide? I think that might be the mystery we're trying to uncover. We know the prophecy. We know the Erd Tree has to burn. Why is she trying to protect the Erd Tree? Why doesn't she want it to burn? Is it just to protect her godhood? Or is there something else? Oh, hey. Can even find Blackstone over here. Blackstone doesn't just build Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula. It also builds Liurnia. If the lands between up above is artificial, and Marika may have come from down below, what is all of this built for? Why build this world if you know that the tree will burn? Why spread the faith just to punish people for it? It's all really interesting questions. We can't answer them yet. But that's just where my head's at. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this, a little short theorizing video. I want to go play Oblivion. That was one of that game was I fell in love with RPGs with Oblivion. And that's what I'm going to do. Next episode... Oh, hey. We could really skip a lot just by going down this way. Another Wandering Mausoleum. Site of Grace over there. But we're not going to go that way. We're going to go... Next episode, we're going this away. All right. That was our little Fire Monk deep dive. Hope you enjoyed it. You know the drill. Let's do the thing.